Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, Call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahawashi, Ba'ashim Merchah HaKodash, and double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and rule well, and Shalom to the hopeful elect, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahawashi, Barakatham. It's the brother Kazab from the Mid-Valley 12 West Coast, coming back at it again with another lesson. And the title of this lesson is going to be, He That Ruled the Nations in Anger. All right, and it's going to be dealing with this article, concerning these events that took place out there in Afghanistan, I'd say about a month ago, and I was going to do a lesson on it, but the Spirit just had me, cover other things, Spirit's like the wind, but now that this came out, basically the conclusion of the matter where, the U.S., they drone struck, they bombed, innocent people in Afghanistan, and then, children among them too. But basically, after they reviewed their actions, their own actions, they, held themselves not guilty. They, like you see in the article, it says no misconduct in deadly U.S. drone attack in Kabul. And that drone attack, it had people, you had children, you had people innocent. I wouldn't say just innocent people, because at the end of the day, it's all judgment. But you had civilians, people who, were not tied to any, terrorist organizations, if you will, So that ultimately shows you, the nature of this devil. You know what I'm saying? That, even with our people, man, you know what I'm saying? He's been destroying us for, centuries now, man, 400 years, possibly more. You know what I'm saying? Ever since this devil landed on the on this side of the world, in the Americas, if you will, he's been destroying our people, and guess what? He never held himself guilty to that. He never gave the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans reparation. If not, he kept on oppressing us even more. He turned up the heat, so, if you will, to the point where our people think it's just natural and normal to live in this oppressed condition. So how much more for these nations that are not are as a drop of a bucket? How much more for these nations that are as spit? But it just goes to show you, these nations are getting tired of Esau's crap, man. Use this article by Al Jazeera. They that article, so like a net news source, if that's what you call it, it's ran by Ishmael and them, and basically the Middle Eastern people, Elam, you name it, man. But yeah, it just goes to show you, man, these devils, they rule the nations in anger, and that's a result of them being in rulership. All right, because the scriptures say, and that's going to be the closing precept, when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And guess what? The whole earth is in mourning. Depression rates up through the roof. Suicide rates at an all-time high. People locked up because of this pandemic shit. Pardon my French. And so it'll come no surprise that these nations will want to seek to destroy Babylon. Elam wants to destroy Babylon. That's why they're building up their, that's why they're building up their weaponry, as far as the nukes go and things of that nature, nuclear capabilities, because these nations are tired of Esau's crap, and mainly tired of Babylon's crap, man. Even other Edomites, like the scripture says, his look was more stout than his fellows. All right, even these other European nations, in the EU, even they're tired of Babylon. And that's where it's all going to culminate to. All right, that's where it's all going to culminate to. Them destroying, and shooting, taking part in America's destruction. By shooting her with her arrows, if you will. We're going to get them scriptures too. Just setting the stage for the lesson. And I am in transit. I am on the road. So I might take, a little bit of a process, but still, man, it's all going to be through the Spirit. All right. So let's bring this out. You know, and you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of this one movie, you know, with Ethan Hawke. You know, if anything, I'm gonna look this up right now. I'll probably hit the scriptures. All right, but it reminds me of this movie with Ethan Hawke. It's called No Good Kill, if I'm not mistaken. Is it No Good Kill? Oh, okay. So like it's titled Good Kill. All right, and if you wanna go, you know, if Akim wanna just look into this movie, you know, and see how this devil rules these other nations, this is a good movie for that, man. All right, because basically this dude, you know, he used to be a Air Force pilot, you know, and then they moved him into some type of secret facility, you know, that's basically, you know, it's a hell of a movie, man. You know, they moved him to a black site facility, all classified, technically not in the U.S. territory, you know, and they just got him bombing innocent people, man. You know, they got him bombing innocent people just to take out that one terrorist, you know. And this is just, you know, what happened here, you know, in Afghanistan is just an example of that. How this devil rules the nations in anger. And guess what? In the kingdom, all right, after the 1,000 years of captivity is done, we're gonna rule in righteousness. Okay, these nations are gonna be happy that we're ruling. Okay, because we're gonna be ruling with wisdom, and we're gonna be ruling in righteousness, man. All right. Let me just hit this exit real quick. Okay, you know, it's out of that pride, you know, that, you know, they got us under them, you know, that these nations are gonna, you know, want to fight, you know, pride, ignorance, if you will, you know. But in the kingdom, you know, far into the kingdom, after these nations finish their sentence, if you will, they're going to be happy we're in rulership. All right, they're gonna be happy because we're gonna be ruling in righteousness. Come on, man, you have Esau, you know, giving Sodomites, you know, liberty, man. Giving women liberty, you know, women encompassing the men, you know, putting the man in siege, you know, surrounding the men, you know, with all that feminism, all that woman power, if you will. You know, Esau want to control how many women you deal with. You know, in the kingdom, it's gonna be none of that, man. You know, you're gonna be penalized if you put a limit to how many women you deal with, man. You know, it's not just about the women, you know, but it's just, you know, certain things, man. You know, certain aspects, big aspects of living that this devil oppresses us with. You know, but yeah, these nations, man, they're gonna be happy that we're in rulership. You know, after their you know, captivity is done, after their sentence is done. You know, we're gonna be ruling over them, and they're gonna be happy. They're gonna be prospering in their ways. You know, they're gonna be sending tributes. They're gonna be giving us tributes. You know why? Because they're gonna be thankful. They're gonna be grateful. They're gonna be happy. All right. That the world that the world is in its rightful order. Okay, so let's go to the scriptures. Let's go to the book of let me see, the book of Isaiah. So like the book of Isaiah, chapter 14. All right, and it reads, the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 4. And it reads that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. All right. Now, this is talking about America. Okay. And say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. All right. Because this place became the golden city through what? Through the rape, robbery, and enslavement and the murder of our people. All right. Well, mainly the slavery of our people. Okay. We built this country up, and we still continue to do so. All right, look at all them Issacharites. Look at all them Latin tribe workers that are building this country up, man. You know, you got Judah among them as well. You know, and Judah played a big role in that too. You know, in the South. You know, during the time of slavery. You know, so-called black people, man. They played a big role in that. You know, and that's how this country, this kingdom, became rich, became the golden city. All right, all that old money these devils have, you know, from that slavery. They became rich through that. All right, but verse 5, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, meaning this devil's losing his rulership, man. All right, this devil's losing his power because these nations are turning against him, and ultimately because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is bringing about the end of our captivity, and he's it's a word for it. He's ushering in New Jerusalem. So that vibration, that spirit of this devil is waning. Okay? It's waning. It's becoming weak. All right? The so-called white man isn't on that pedestal that he was before. People are looking to who? Judah now. All right? Because that's the head tribe. And with Judah, the rest of the tribes. And that's apparent, in the sports. You got boxing. I mainly tune into boxing. You got Latin tribes that are coming up in the boxing scene. Making big names. Before it was what? It was Muhammad Ali. It was Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., to name a few. And of course you got the Latin tribes sprinkled among, like Julio Cesar Chavez. Because our people were always great. But now you're having more and more, Latin tribes coming to the boxing scene, becoming more recognized. And it's a lot of people trying to stop them, but you can't do that, man. You can't stop the glow. You can't dim that light. All right. But that goes to show, in this time, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is revealing who the chosen are, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. And with that, you know what I'm saying? With that, I don't want to say spirit, but with that, basically, with that, it's a word for it, man. I'm not very, intricate with the words, but with that notion, all right, this devil is losing power, man. The world is starting to see who has next. Okay, so verse 6, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. All right, and that's what I went into, man. This devil never stopped oppressing us. Okay, he never held back, if you will. If anything, he made it worse. All right, it was a time when you could see the chains. It was a time when you knew you in captivity. This devil done messed our people up so bad, they think captivity is normal. He don't need to chain them up no more. You don't need to do that no more. All right, and that's evident. That's the result of that continual stroke. All right, he that ruled the nations in anger. Okay, and that's going into this article. That's going into this article. That's an example of ruling the nations in anger. You just bombing everything, man. And if you watch that movie, man, this devil's bombing funerals, man. You got men, women, children attending a funeral. And then you got that one guy come in. This devil went and bombed their ass, man. Ruling the nations in anger, man. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. All right? Because when the Lord puts out that green light, there's going to be no deliverance, man. Esau's not going to be calling upon nobody, okay? Because all things are spiritual, it begins spiritually. All right, Esau's the how do I put it to you? Esau's the physical counterpart of spiritual demon Satan. All right, but guess what? Spiritual demon Satan, pursuant to the book of Job, he works for the Lord. So there's no, he's not going to be able to call upon spiritual demon Satan, man. And that day, spiritual demon Satan go hit him like Charlemagne. Congratulations, you played yourself. And that's really it, man. This devil played himself. Let's go into let me just finish, riding down this little hill. Before I hit the next precept. Let's go right here. All right. The beast was wroth. Man, come on. Now I gotta look it up here. Alright, the beast was wroth. Oh, okay, so like it was a dragon. Nah, so like it's not the dragon. That's talking about something else entirely. Oh, okay, Salakia. I got it mixed up. So we're going to go to the book of Revelations, chapter 17, verse 16. All right. Good thing I'm on a stoplight too. It's all through the Spirit. All right. So the book of Revelations, chapter 17, verse 16, and it reads, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore." Okay. Now them 10 horns represent them different European kingdoms. You know, them different countries in the European Union. And that's what they represent. You know, because there's gonna come a time when even they gonna turn against this place, man. All right, because as it is written in the book of, if I'm not mistaken, in the book of Daniel's, you know, where it said, and his look was more stout than his fellows. All right, that's because this place is more stout, meaning it's more oppressive. You know, it's doing shit that these other nations are like, yo, what the fuck, man? You know, even the other horns are like, yo, what the fuck, man? You know, here it is, Esau. You know, you got certain countries, you know, in the European Union that want to do deals with countries that the U.S. don't like. You know, I can't name, you know, specifically which. You know, I don't want to give out the wrong information. You know, but you have instances of that. You know, you have certain countries that want to do, you know, deal with Persia, if I'm not mistaken. You know, countries that the U.S. doesn't like. All right, and they are barred from that. You know, they're frowned upon for doing that. Well, guess what? That's just all going to culminate more, man. It's all going to culminate more. It's being made more clear who the wicked kingdom is, man. It's being made more clear who that great city is, who the whore is. All right, and it reads, "These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire," meaning that they're going to partake in the destruction of this place, man. All right, Yahweh Shemel Shah is going to put the Spirit on them to shoot the missiles over here too. Same way he's going to put the Spirit on the Medes, who are, you know, the modern day Russians, man. You know, that's what's gonna happen. All right, and that's gonna be the destruction of this kingdom. Okay, and that's gonna be the downfall. You know, all that's gonna end in the downfall of Esau, Edom, so-called white man, because really is this whole Edomite nation, man. You know, starting with these elites. You know, that call the shots from their positions. You know, let me make a couple moves right here. All right, find a cool spot to park and conclude the lesson. You know, because it's a lot of movement over here. All right, but hey, them European countries, man, they're going to have a part in the destruction of this kingdom, all right, of this country. You know, the U.S. They're going to destroy it with ICBM thermonuclear missiles, man. All right, because hey, it's just waxing worse and worse and worse, man. This is the what's the word? This is the beacon of wickedness. Okay. This kingdom here is the beacon of wickedness, man. It is the high mountain of wickedness. All right, because everything that's wicked in the world, you know, it's coming out of here, man. All right, it's coming out of here. So let me see. I'll go right here. This seems pretty cool enough. All right, now I'm gonna look up that precept. You know, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Look up that little precept. What's it is? When the wicked rule. There we go. All right, so the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and 2. All right, I'm just gonna, read it off the website. And it reads, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice." All right, and that's what's gonna happen in the kingdom. All right, after that 1,000 years of slavery is done for these nations, the people are going to be rejoicing, man. All right, they're going to be rejoicing. Why? Because the world is going to be in righteousness. All right, pursuant to the book of 2 Peter chapter 3. You know, we're looking for a new heavens, a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Okay, because it's going to be like a whole new world, basically. You know, compared to what this devil was doing, it's going to be a whole new world, man. It's going to be a whole new world. All right. And it reads, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And that's why, you know, everything is in the state that it's in. All right. That's why all nations, starting with our people, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American, and children of Israel, are in the state that they're in. All right. That we are in a state of mourning, man. Because this devil is ruling. You know, this devil is passing all manner of unrighteous decrees, man. You know, speaking against Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and acting against him in his condoning of wickedness. All right, but hey, man, this devil is almost, you know, he's almost out the picture, man. All right, it won't be long. So with that, I'm gonna say, call halal Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Recha HaKodash. Forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the Akim. All right, Esau's on his way out. With that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next.